Good morning.
Morning, guys. Welcome to WRME Live, where
We're here.
the line from Whose Line Is It Anyway came up where the jokes don't matter, or whatever it was. Oh, I got a notification that we are live. Woo!
Hey.
I'm not used to my fancy
Hey,
new
our
phone.
volume is good.
Hey! Technology, so finicky. Shout out to Samsung. My phone lasted years with my level of abuse and still functioned even though it had a gap in the frame from a bloated battery. It worked for months. I accidentally killed it by getting it too wet. That was completely on me. You make a good phone, Samsung. Keep it up. The battery needs some work, though, because that did bloat. Oh, man. We've got all sorts of things. It is still a seller's market. If you have any form of house and you need out of it for whatever reason, if we can price it fairly reasonably, it's not going to last. And it's jack kind of crazy right now. And you could really benefit from it, whether you did a forbearance or deferment, which we've talked about in the past, or you just need out because you're moving to Tampa because you're sick of tornadoes. Whatever. It's just the market to be selling in right now.
Well, I've come across a couple of short sales here lately.
Yeah, those will be increasing.
If you're a cash buyer and you're not afraid to do some work and you want some other options, since the housing market is so hot right now, look into short sales and stuff like that.
Well,
I've seen some decent ones, but check documentation. See if there's any non-liens or anything like that.
Yes.
That could get you in trouble.
okay. We have a separate division called Main Edge Solutions. From my past experiences from doing 80 plus short sales, if I had the knowledge and information that we had today and the options, a good handful, if not a majority of them, would never have been a short sale because they needed a unique solution and didn't have any other options. And now that's been years now. So if you're thinking you're going to need a different solution, please give us a call. We'll get you for our distressed properties division or our unique solutions division, whatever it's going to be called, Main Edge Solutions, and they'll take a look at the facts and go, okay, these look to be your options. And if short sale's the best one, cool. But this way, if you do have more options, you gave it a second look rather than going with what your mortgage lender says or a number of other people say, because they don't know these options are out there because they're mortgage lenders. They don't dabble in some of the things that Main Edge Solutions is able to dabble in. So please seriously consider giving us a call, text, email, so we can at least make sure that that really is the best option for you.
Anyway, as I was saying,
Sorry.
if you're a buyer, it is an option. There are some starting to pop out, and some of these houses could be just minimal stuff that needs done. Just check liens and stuff like that before you make that decision.
And loan type.
I said cash buyer.
Cash
if you're
buyer.
a cash buyer.
We've had one FHA short sale close, but that house was immaculate.
Pretty
Most
much.
have to be conventional or cash.
And even then, conventional is going to vary because banks won't do repairs 99% of the time.
Nope, it is an as-is deal if it's
So-
just a short sale.
Cash buyers, check it out.
Also, they take longer. So if you need a house next week and you're cash, don't go after a short sale.
Well, even on a regular resale, that might not be possible. Abstracting, title work, stuff like that. Isn't moving as quickly right now with everything going on. That could make your closings longer.
Yep. But on the topic of short sales, the average is 120 business days from contract to contract acceptance. That's not even from sending offer to it closing. Now, some policies might have been expedited with everything going on, but it can just take longer because there's more bureaucracy, more paperwork, more people to get it approved by. So yes, seriously consider that, especially if you're in no rush to move. But it is a different cat, different creature, and you've got to be ready for it.
Even
Ready
though
for a nap.
inspections, termite inspections, bug inspections we're supposed to have a bad bug season this year for ticks and stuff like that.
All the farmers are telling me the ticks are going to be ridiculous. And I used to think I hated spiders. No, ticks are the devil. Nope. I've more than once found it like all the way up in here inside my clothes, and I'm like, shouldn't I have felt you anywhere else between my finger and my shoulder? The heck. It's just, no. Tickies, no.
So, if you're selling or thinking about selling, treat your yard.
Or trim your trees accordingly and have your yard work done in advance.
Well, you need to trim those anyway because you don't want them touching the side of the house, the roof, anything like that.
We can't make you treat your yard for ticks and fleas and whatnot. Now, if they're bad and you believe that will be a detriment, it's something for you to consider. But some things you can obviously do to minimize things happening. Ticks get knocked off trees normally by people or animals bumping into said tree. Trim limbs to where they can't bump them.
But we have seen a tick infestation in the house.
Yes, if you have any form of bug infestation in your house and you want to sell, deal with it now. Because the last thing you need in such a hot market is the insect problem being more trouble than it's worth.
So, treat it. Prevention is great, and it hopefully helps. Same with repairs and stuff like that. Maintenance on your house. Treating for bugs, termites if needed. At least having it checked. Insects, whatever. It's if somebody walks out of your house and they're covered, or your yard, even your yard, and they're covered in fleas or ticks or bugs, that's going to be a deterrent. The last thing I want to do is walk out of a house or something and have bugs all over me.
I can handle, if I'm walking through a yard, I'm like, I can treat this, I can solve this, but if it's in the house, when I was younger, I had a deep terror of fleas for long story. And I went to, in some of these short sales or distressed properties, and they would inundate me, and I'd have to go outside, have a small panic attack, and then put on some bug repellent before going back into the house. You don't want that to be happening when that's a possible buyer. And so treat your animals if they're indoor animals. Check your house. Put the flea powder down on the carpet if you can't do any form of fancy treatment, and do something to reduce it.
I've also seen issues where the neighbors had dogs,
Good.
but you got an infestation in your yard.
Yep.
It happens. So if they treat their yard and you don't, they're going to come to where it's not treated.
Yep.
So just
things to be thinking about, because it's getting into summer and it gonna get interesting. And if you want to sell your house, bugs, condition, there's so many things to be keeping in mind, and we've talked about them.
if you have standing water anywhere, mosquitoes love stagnant water. So
Oh yes,
ponds, bird baths, whatever, make sure you change out the water.
if you have the funds or the interest, you might even talk to a irrigation or landscaping specialist. Some houses, despite their best effort, the sidewalk, for instance, I have a friend, it's their forever home, they're not moving. But for whatever reason, the sidewalk settled funny. And so as you go to the door, it goes down, and all it becomes is about a 10-foot puddle from there to the step going into the house. And so I was talking to her, and she's thinking all these different solutions, but I'm like, I think you should talk to X, Y, and Z and get a serious, maybe a French drain would be a good solution for this particular situation. Sump pump doesn't really fall into that.
Right.
One person was suggesting a sump pump, and that's normally for a confined space, like a crawl space or whatnot, for one-time use. You need finish your sidewalk, you need, the first thing that comes to mind is a French drain, because you need a permanent, continual solution rather than, it's tornado season, time to drain the cellar.
Well, and that's the same thing with outdoor or in-ground cellars. Make sure those are kept up properly, sealed, treated, all that good stuff.
I met someone that they had one in their garage, and whenever he got mad or got hot, he'd fill it with water. Indoor pool! And you're just like, oh, okay, I didn't think you were a redneck, but I think that's a redneck thing that you just did.
Right.
And, yeah,
Okay,
but
then.
it's their forever home. He doesn't care. It's his cellar. It's up to him to do.
I never
But-
thought of that, but draining it.
Sump
Dang.
pump.
I know, but still.
He didn't care.
Oh, well.
And I'm just like, good for you, sir. But if you're going to try and sell your house, drain your pool.
Hours or Tractor Supply, and you buy the big bins, water bins for the cattle. You just fill those up and We used to do that.
Okay, one last topic on the pool. Someone wanted to put, this is from the internet, someone wanted to put a pool on their property, and the HOA said, heck no. So what they did is they got an inflatable one and put it in their garage. They had a fairly good slope going down the driveway, and so when it was time to empty it, they just kind of bloop and let it go down the driveway, but it's not in the yard. They can't do squats, so they parked in the driveway for a few months.
All right.
Okay, we could talk all about all sorts of random real estate all day. And so, point being, call, text, email.
Yes.
We're here to help. And if we can't help, we probably know who you need to talk to find said help. We can connect you with a list of people that do landscaping, roofing, termite inspections, home inspections, and kind of give general advice if you're interested, including directing you to Main Edge Solutions if you need a unique solution to your real estate problem. In the meantime, we are WRME Live, where we do real